Hi, it's Rebecca, Empathic Crow. I was sitting and creating some things and my ears kept like pressurizing. I don't know if that's the word to use. Like, you know how it's like, and so I was like, okay, this is driving me nuts. And I felt called to do a message. So that's what we're going to do. So I wrote in my book, today is March 14th, but anytime this message meets you, it may be a message for you. But I did ask, who is this for? Because it was coming in strong. And sometimes I've just channeled the energy for a very specific thing. But today we're going to do it a little different. And some of those videos you can find from last year. Who is this for? The answer I got was the ones who struggle to see the beauty, love, and connection that is already within them. And so I said, how will they know that this is for them? The immediate response was, they will feel it. And I was like, but even if they feel it, and before I could finish, the clarification came in, they may try to deny the feeling because belief is hard. So if you are someone who you feel like there is beauty, love, and connection within you, but maybe you don't feel it, or you feel like other people don't see it, then this reading may be for you, because that is who I'm being told this reading is for. And so I was like, because belief can be hard, are there any signs that you can give me? So you may see there's like a scratch out here, because I can draw some things really well, even a quick sketch. And that's not me trying to congratulate myself. That's just me saying sometimes it'll look pretty good. But it was the seashell, and I was trying to just draw the specific seashell because there are a lot of different seashells. It was not working. So with the seashell, it's like if you think of, okay, thank you, Spirit, because they're giving me the symbol of, if you think of like Ariel or a seashell bra or whatever in general, you're going to have a specific type of seashell, you know, where it's got the ridges up at the top and then the straight part at the bottom. So that is the type of seashell that I'm seeing, 222 on the clock. And then I was like, okay, anything else? And so I had my eyes closed and I could feel myself swaying, and I'm hearing like the ocean, and I'm getting back in that energy as I'm saying it. I'm getting that feeling of just peace and calm. I was hearing the ocean coming in and the seagulls, and just really feeling like nothing else mattered. It was just this peaceful feeling. So I feel like if this message is for you, then the beach may be your happy place. This may be your calm place. I also was seeing things at one point as if I was coming in from like a bird perspective, like looking down. And what I got was eagle eye view, big picture perspective, or shift perspective. So what this felt like is that sometimes you're getting caught in this small perspective of just seeing all the things that are around you. And even I just realized, like with me closing my eyes, and in that moment you can feel yourself in that space. Like when you think of visual at 3:33 on the clock, you think of visualization and pulling yourself into that energy, calming, grounding. This is part of what they're encouraging. And for some people that may be the beach, or I realize that's one of the things that I focus on for that calming and grounding sometimes, is focusing on the beach. So maybe this is just an example too of how I use the practice, that it's not necessarily for you. It's just to get me to talk about being in that energy of sitting and allowing yourself to exist and visualizing things and hearing things, however it is that you sense things that make you feel calm and at peace, because this will help to promote that connection. It's already within you. Just like for anything that I do working with people, I try to encourage them to recognize that I'm just one of the tools to help you to be able to do the things for yourself, to learn that it is within you. You don't have to seek it from outside. All right, so that eagle eye view and shifting perspective, because like I said, it's like pulling yourself out of just all the day-to-day things, I'm seeing like hustle and bustle, like when I lived overseas and, you know, in a place where it was just, everybody was just trying to get to where they were going. And And I realized even on the weekend, I would be in that energy. I'm like walking fast. And I'm like, why am I walking fast? Why am I walking fast? I can walk slower. So this is part of what you're being called to do, is slow down. Take some time for yourself. Focus on your body. Focus on what's around you. Focus on, in a way that you're focusing on not whatever that chaos, stress, whatever it is, but whatever it is that brings you peace. You may not feel like you have it, just like you may not feel like you see the beauty, love, and connection within you. But this is how you do it. You shift that perspective. And so then I saw a doorway, and at first the door was closed, and then it cracked a little bit, and there was this light coming in. And then all of a sudden, I heard the door like opens all the way, and I heard this music. It was 555 as I was looking up, but I heard this music. And I can't tell you what the music is because that is not the point. It wasn't a song that I know, but it was just that feeling of like goosebumps and chills, and like you have to dance, like your whole body. Good Lord, my crow friends, 2 of them just flew right past my window. Like they were doing some kind of like a drive-by or whatever. Maybe that's a sign for you too, is that the crows are like trying to get your attention. I know that can be one of the things for me. But, yeah, it was just like the music kind of just takes you over, and you feel like even if you feel self-conscious about it, you're dancing and just letting it go. And I feel like that's what Spirit's calling you to do, is just let it go, let it flow. And I'm hearing just allow. I also kept seeing everything I saw. The colors were red and orange. So you may be drawn to the colors red and orange. They may be colors that make you feel calm or increase positivity, whatever that is for you. Or it could even be a root chakra or sacral chakra connection. That may be getting you grounded. That may be getting you into a more playful, passionate, creative, just a space where you feel where you feel connected to you. You feel connected to, I'm hearing earth, to the ground, to everything around you, but still in this very, they're saying hopeful and bright way. So that may sound like, oh, this is so positive. And no, they're saying you've got to see the good in order to feel it. But you can't necessarily feel it or see it if you're not looking. All right, so hopefully that made sense. You can't see it or feel it if you're not looking, but you may not feel like it's around you right now, and you may not feel the things within you, but they're saying if you get quiet, get still, my ears, and focus, then you are going to be able to experience it. Thank you, Spirit. My ears are just so pressurized, and that was not happening earlier. All right, so I have several decks in front of me. The Crow Tarot by N.J. Cullinane. This is pre-shuffled. I've also pre-shuffled this deck. This is one that my husband got me years ago when I first started really using the cards. I haven't used this one as much. I did for a while. I don't know why it's been a while since I've used it. It is the Moon Oracle, and that is by Caroline Smith and John Astrop. I don't know. And it does have cards based on the moon phases, and then it also has some like goddesses and things. So guidebook here if we need it. And then we have another deck that I haven't used that much, but I absolutely love it. It's the Mystical Shaman Pocket deck. I have the pocket version by Alberto Violdo. I may have said that incorrectly. Please forgive me if I mispronounced it. I took several years of Spanish in high school, middle school, high school, and college, but I'm not going to say that I'm perfect with my pronunciation. Colette Barron-Reed and Marcela Lobos. So this is a beautiful deck, and it has some beautiful imagery. On the bottom here, we have the sun right now, but not all cards. It's not like it's based. It's the crow. 13, which breaks down to a 4. I love that. Let's pull the crow out. And if it feels important, we will And they're saying the sun's important because this is what they are wanting for you to focus on, the sun. And maybe the crow is connected to that bird perspective that I was saying, because you know the crow, it is always watching. It is always taking in things and information. Like the research, they're showing that crows, like if something happens to one of them, they're kind of like trying to figure out, you know, is there a threat around here that's going to get more of us? That's my understanding, at least. I could be totally wrong on that. I'm not saying I know everything. All right, and then I have the Sign of the Times Crystal Banner deck. All of these are pre-shuffled, but in case there are any other signs that are coming through. So, Spirit's telling me to start by reading the Sun card guidance. All right. So with this Sun card, there are some fields in the background showing kind of a harvest coming in. Now notice that there's the moon is visible in this card. The full moon is visible in this card. And the sun is over here. So there's some illumination and bringing things that are hidden to light. Now for you, because I asked who it was for, and it feels like for you, that feeling of love, what is it? Love, connection, and beauty may feel like it's hidden. That's probably going to be coming to light. We will see. So here's the card up close. I don't have any light other than the overhead and the natural sun, so hopefully no glares today. All right, this card is 53. So this is going to be a longer read, and that was intentional because I feel like this message is something that does not need to be rushed. Excuse me. The essence. The sun is acknowledged by many cultures as the foremost masculine force. So I'll pick it up while I show it to you. In other traditions, it is seen as the feminine in her full power. Either way, it is the most brilliant light for all beings and allows life to sprout from the dark feminine earth. It can be gentle and warming close to the sunrise or the sunset, fall or winter, 12:22 on the clock when I looked up. Or it can be destructive, as in zenith during a scorching summer. The invitation, have you been hibernating? Have you been introspective? 1, 2, 3, 4 when I looked up. It is time to come out of your cave and savor the life-giving light of our star. So I'm going to turn the page, but yeah, that difficulty with believing and connecting with or feeling like there's a connection for you and that love and that beauty is keeping you in this more tucked in. I'm just kind of seeing it like tucked in, like tucking yourself away. In fact, even the image that we have of this beautiful woman here is, you know, even though she's this beautiful, beautiful soul, she's kind of pulling herself in. So you're being called to come out of that. The sun rekindles your passion and your creative energy. Orange, sacral chakra. Life is calling you to shine your light and to add your lightness and humor to the seriousness around you. Get out and play. So maybe at the beach is where you feel like you can totally be peaceful and be yourself and just play. I'm hearing like, I don't even know these people, so I can just do what I want to do. Like, whether that's because I'm seeing bathing suits and stuff, whether that's wearing the bathing suit that maybe you would feel uncomfortable in a pool, especially if it's local or whatever, that is saying whether it's the pool, whether it's the beach or whatever, this is time for you to come out. Because it's not about however other people perceive you. It's about you feeling comfortable in yourself, in your skin, not needing that outside 14:14 on the clock validation. So the medicine is, have you been shining your light for too long? Remember, the daylight is only one half of the day. The night must have her equal time. And she offers us her gifts as well. Be careful not to be blinded by your light or the light of others. Do not become enamored with yourself or worship others. Beware of your shadow. Revel in your midday glory, but do not be afraid of the waning of the light at dusk. So it's, even though maybe you have been hiding and shying away, you don't have to do that. You can shine your light. But it's finding that balance where you're not just being cocky and overshining, or what are you saying? You're not they keep saying being a bully, and I didn't want to say that because I'm like, well, that doesn't necessarily go with, you know, your overshining, but I guess it kind of does, because if you are trying to be that cocky confident, sometimes even, yep, they're showing me the strength card from the Light Seers Tarot, where I say, you know, it's about recognizing that the lion and the lamb are both within you, but you are still yourself, and you don't have to come with that strength as a lion's roar. It's just that quiet confidence. So that's okay. I get it now. So not where you're trying to overshadow or outshine other people, that you are just being you. So the encouragement is that you recognize it. And I feel like sometimes people feel that if they shine their light, then it's going to appear 1616 on the clock, as if they're minimizing other people, or if they're trying to get the spotlight. And Spirit's saying you don't have to see it that way or the other. This isn't about how other people see you. Other people are going to see you how they see you. This is about you actually seeing yourself as you are, without that judgment of yourself. Whatever people judge of you, even when you do things in whatever way, it doesn't matter, because they are seeing from a different perspective. This is about you being able to actually see yourself. That's what they keep saying to me. See yourself as you are. You don't have to let it go too far. You don't have to come back and withdraw in. It's just being you, being authentically you. That's a beautiful message. Thank you, Spirit. Crow is 13. So we'll look at that one. And I'll pull this crow card back up. Now with this crow card, are you kidding me? So it's not the same type of shell, but there's a shell right here. So with this card, we've got a greenish blue, so heart chakra, throat chakra. We've also got that yellow with the solar plexus chakra. And then we have this really earthy tone. And it actually looks like ground and like a tree right here. Oh, it's showing up better on the camera because the light's that way. Light source is that way. So I feel like this is, again, bringing in that perspective, like I said, that eagle eye view, where you still can be grounded, connected to the earth, but you're seeing things from a different perspective. And even in this, it almost looks like we've got this little tiny moon here and the sun. But that's just what I'm seeing. So let's go to the guidance. So with the crow, crow is the keeper of universal law, the law of truth. Crow teaches us to walk our talk, to find congruence between who we say we are and who we really know ourselves to be. This winged one insists that we speak truth, that we create truth instead of searching for it, and that we bring truth to every situation we find in ourselves. And Spirit started out by saying, for the ones who have difficulty, I think it was, or find it hard, I can't remember now, to see the beauty, the love, and the connection that is already within them. So that is part of your truth. The invitation, when you speak truth and practice truth, eventually everything you say becomes true. Your power to co-create with the truth is the universal law. Correct what is untrue in your life without judgment. Let the truth set you free. So if you've been saying to yourself, I can't do this, I'm not able to do this, I am not a beautiful person, I am not as connected as this person, whatever it is, you are creating a version of the truth that you see, but that doesn't mean that it's the truth. And it's hard, because when we say those things, we will believe them. That's why words, affirmations, all of that can be powerful. What you focus on, you will believe, even if it's not true. So this is being able to focus on what makes it true. What makes it true that you actually are beautiful, that you are worthy of, or that you are a loving person. And what makes it true that you are connected, regardless of anyone else's truth, because this is about you and your truth. So let's see. Where are we at? The medicine. Be true to your word. Crow arrives just as we have convinced ourselves that what we are doing is right and justified. And while this may be the case in the realm of relative truth, in the higher realm of absolute truth, it is not. Look deeply into your heart and remain alert, lest you convince yourself of something that isn't deeply true for you, and perhaps is not the highest truth. Do not seduce yourself with illusions. So I feel like with this, it's saying that sometimes we can get to a space, and it always, with any of the guidebooks, the cards, you're going to have the positive version and then the reversal, whatever you want to say. And so it depends on what you see of yourself in this. Do you see yourself as somebody who is missing their beauty, their truth, their love, their connection, because they're focused on a version of the truth that doesn't align? Or is it because you know that it's true, but at the same time, you're having difficulty believing it? So it's kind of that duality that we all have. There is shadow and light within all of us. So it is okay for you to shine and speak your truth. I feel like part of this is it's also understanding that other people have their own truth. And it's not even that one's right or wrong, because as it said, you know, the universal truth is the universe knows. So we may convince ourselves that something's true and it may not be. But as I said, part of this is the connection, going back into yourself. Because if something is true, you will feel it. And it's not going to be aha, I knew that was it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the truth where, like that ocean, it just settles in and you're like, okay. And it may not be the most, it may be a harsh truth. And so this is where that eagle eye, that crow, 2222 on the clock perspective comes in. Is that with the harsh truths, whether that's about you, about a situation, whatever it is, it's not that you have to like pull it up and shine a light on it in a way that you're exposing it or reacting to it or whatever. It's just that you're recognizing that it's there, 2244 on the clock, and acknowledging and accepting it. So let's see what the cards say, because we've gotten a lot. Where are we at? 2253. And all I've done is talk about who it is for, the signs and symbols coming through, what I experienced, and 2 cards. But that's okay. Let's start with the Crow Tarot. All right. So for the ones who are struggling to see the beauty, love, and connection that is already within them, Spirit, what is it that you want to point out here? What do we need to know, especially with this truth? What is the truth? What is the truth? What is the truth? Got some cards that are kind of wanting to come out. The Hermit with the star on the bottom. So this is where we started, where we talked about with the sun kind of shying yourself away. But look at all the light that is in this card. There's so much in here that's illuminated. So it's almost like hiding from the truth, that you're trying to hide the light that's within you because you don't believe it. So you're trying to hide it because you're like, I don't want others to think that I'm trying to big myself up, or that I'm trying to say something I'm not. But the light is within you. You can't hide it. And the dark is within you too, because it's within all of us. And with the star down here, just like with the star card, I feel like part of that is that healing is part of you being able to see that beauty, love, and connection within you. And it's also allowing yourself to, you're already visible. People already see you in your light. It's allowing yourself to just accept it. Accept it. Because I'm getting drawn back to that feeling of being at the beach again. 24:44 on the clock. to just embrace it, not to put it out there in a way that it's like, yeah, look at me, but also not in a way where it's like you're trying to minimize yourself. It's just you being authentic, being in your element, being okay with things. Anything else from that card? It is snowing in the card, and I don't know why that's important. Clean slate. So not holding on to the past. Maybe in the past you did something where you tried to accept and embrace beauty, love, and connection, whether that was in a relationship or a I said relationship, here comes the Lovers. All right, gotcha, Spirit. So whether it was a relationship, friendship, just any kind of situation where more than one person was involved. You see we've got the sun over here, we've got the moon over here. So even though this almost looks like a mirrored image from right here, there's differences on each side. And your perspective of 25:55 on the clock, your perspective is what dictates how you see this card. So the reason I say that is the two crows are together and they're forming a heart. And then there's an anatomically correct heart right here. So your literal heart and the symbolic heart. Okay. You only know what is in your literal heart. People can see your light. They may even be able to see your heart through your actions, your responses and things. But you're the only one who knows what makes your heart feel swell with pride of yourself when you do things that are in alignment with you, that connect with your heart, what it is that you love, the passion, the sacral chakra, who it is that you align with. You are the only one who truly knows that. Other people just see this kind of symbol of the heart on the outside. With this snake, it's recognizing that the snake can be shedding your skin, shedding those past events, things that didn't work out. And in order to do that, you have to not hold on to things that were really good and be like, oh, things have to be like this because that meant it was really good, but also not holding on to the past and being like, oh, well, this is a red flag because of this and that. It's having that balance, knowing that things may not be what they seem, but not anticipating that it's going to be too good or too bad. I think that was very similar to what we got from both of these cards, where it was like with your truth or with letting yourself shine, that you're not going into an extreme of either aspect. You're just existing. And it's funny, there are two crows flying by right here because I can't remember if it was when I had started to record before and then I stopped because I don't even remember right now, but I recorded myself as I was saying the things. Oh, it was getting too long. And so that was me second guessing myself. So yeah, two crows did a flyby. I can't remember if it was in this video or when I was starting to do the channeling on the camera. Either way, those crows, for me, they were coming in kind of like an acknowledgement, confirmation. Maybe for you, again, crows may be a confirmation, maybe not. But in this, I'm thinking, or not thinking, in this, what I'm seeing is, because where is it at? Up here. It looks like a set of eyes up here. Not worrying, again, I've said that before, about what other people think. You are doing things, yeah, there it is. I call it the looky-loo. What you're building is for you. Like even down here, it looks like there's an eye. You can see it right there. But that one feels like, this feels more like people on the outside. This feels more like your third eye connection. Like this is you being discerning. I feel like, and I say this a lot when I'm doing readings, that this feels kind of disjointed, but I don't think it is. Let's move forward to, where are we going? We're going to the Moon Oracle and see what's coming from there. All right, Spirit. So what is the message? We've got kind of what's going on and why people may connect with this. Are we taking all of these? I think we are. Okay. So we've got the crescent waxing air moon. It's called shoots. It looks like kind of springing forward. Some things shooting out of the ground. This is growth. Yeah, because it's idea. Idea is the card. So the sun is now making it harder to see these. So idea is on the card. So with that, maybe there's an idea that's coming through on how you can change this around. Again, I'm seeing very similar to this card. You've got possible sun and moon aspects. This right here even looks like that eye, you connecting with your intuition. And it feels like we get the red and the orange. That was one of the first things that I said from the channeled message. It's you getting grounded and also stepping into your passions. With this yellow, it's being able to solar plexus chakra, trust yourself, push the anxieties away, to really focus on what you're bringing in. Because there are things that you can bring in that are going to bring some of the hardships, and there are things that are going to bring in more profit is what I'm hearing, but I'm like, okay, more profit. There are things that could actually, maybe this is your money. There are things that could bring you a profit, and there are things that won't. I'm hearing you're hiding from the light because you're afraid of your shadows. You're hiding from the light because you're afraid of your shadows. So that's taking me back to the sun card. If you are afraid to shine your light because you're afraid of your vulnerabilities and insecurities being seen, then that's going to hold you back. That's not growth. And so with the crow, it's being able to recognize that truth, when you're being seen, the truth, your truth, other people's version of the truth, and the actual truth are going to come to light. And that's okay. You can't be afraid of it. I mean, you can be afraid of it. But if you do, these plants are going to remain just those plants shooting up. It's not going to actually become what you want it to be. We have last quarter waning moon. And this is a 1, so kind of starting out, right? This is a 6. And so this is representing fall. And it says challenge. All right. So with this, the shoots feels like spring, the beginning of things, whereas this is fall. So we've gone through spring and summer and we're in fall. So this is kind of, again, very yellow in the card color. I feel like this is saying that of course, there are going to be challenges, but again, there's another balance here with the cards. There's something with it that I keep being drawn to. It kind of looks like an insect and it kind of looks like a flower around here. And it looks completely different seeing it in the camera. That's the perspective that I was talking about earlier. That's what it is, because I just saw myself or through the eyes of like a bird flying. It's that perspective shift. Your challenge is the perspective shift. Again, if you believe that you can create this, you are going to find solutions and things that can help you to create this. 33:33 on the clock. But if you do not believe that you can create this, that is your challenge. Because whether you mean to or not, things are going to occur and you're going to either feel like you can't navigate them. They may be overwhelming. But if you don't believe that you have the beauty, light, and connection, it's going to be really hard to believe that you can create the things that you want in your life. We got Hecate coming through, or Hecate. We have Hecate. Oh my gosh. We have Hecate coming through. And for this one, she's got, we'll just use this. She has things that people get worried about seeing. All right. So let's look up Hecate and see. I don't know why I said it that way. That was weird. See what the guidance is for her. So let me go into the moon goddesses. All right, Hecate, Black Goddess, Capricorn, Earth. And I talked earlier about the Earth aspect of those shoots and grounding, even when we were talking about some of the other cards. The goddess Hecate stands with her arms raised, coins in her hands, symbolizing her ability to bestow riches as well as magic and wisdom, which is funny that instead of grabbing a stone, I grabbed a coin to cover her parts up. Her headdress is framed from the 3 phases of the moon: waxing crescent, full moon, and the waning crescent. She traditionally is shown with 3 faces and the archetypal goddess triad of the Virgin Mother and Crone. The black moon behind her represents the night in which she reigned queen and the caves of the underworld in which she had considerable authority. So again, we're showing kind of this dualistic, shoot, why are words hard? This is funny. The different sides. I don't know why I can't talk today. This is funny. Either side of her are hounds from the large pack that were her, I don't know all the words, retinue wherever she traveled. The dog was her sacred animal. In the past, Hecate was known as the dog of the moon and was associated with the dog star Sirius. Beneath the image are the symbol for the earth sign Capricorn and the moon disk of the black goddess. So I'll hold this up again with the coins over her nipples. We'll just say the word. And again, not trying to flip anybody off. Oh my God. I think I had somebody take something personally the other day, thinking that I was flipping people off, like, secretly or whatever. I don't know. It was hilarious. Nothing in anything that I posted was about them, and it was mistakenly taken that way because people can take anything any way they want to. It is what it is. All right, so let's move forward and go to the card meaning, because it does give you the myth. There's a lot of things, but this reading's already long. And I'm going to turn this to the light a little bit to make it easier for me to read. Hecate has the power to look in 3 directions, there aren't just 3 directions, at the same time. When this card is drawn, it suggests that something is locking you into the past, making it difficult to enjoy the present fully and to prepare positively to move on into the future. The past must be reviewed, relived, and then put away for good, with a symbolic washing away of its influences. Whatever is discovered as a result will remain hidden to everyone except yourself. Hecate tells you that you cannot change the past. Rather, you must live in and do what you can in the present. The future will then look after itself, a death and rebirth. Black Goddess Hecate demands that you put your priorities in order. The systematic nature of Earth in the authoritarian sign of Capricorn seeks to establish order where there is confusion. If the card of the goddess Hecate is selected, then January will be an important month with regard to the question. So if you had a question when you came in, I forgot with this one that's something that's in most of them, then that may be a time that you can focus on. Just understanding that, as I tell people, the future is not necessarily set in stone. Your choices determine how things turn out, and sometimes there are roadblocks that come in, and again, your choices are what determines the opportunities that you have. All right. And so you see, I'm not trying to present any kind of way, because I'm going to leave that in. I don't edit very much, because what comes through comes through. And if it comes through, or if I mispronounce things or whatever happens, that may even be part of the message for someone. So I leave it in. All right, the last card that we got from that deck is the Volcano. So we have a 1 on this card. Excuse me. And again, I'm going to go to the guidebook, but look, there are shells down here at the bottom. So even though I was seeing a very specific shell, maybe that's the reason it was hard for me to draw it, because maybe the shape wasn't necessarily the purpose. It was just shells in general, that was the message, shells. So please excuse me if I was trying to assign a particular type of shell, because I was like, that is one of the simplest drawings to do. Why can't I do that? And I feel like part of this is I have messed up or said the wrong thing or had a hard time with words more than usual in this reading. And I feel like that's part of the message too, is that things may feel off. It may feel disjointed. It may feel like you're vulnerable. I mispronounced something, whatever. But that you keep going. You accept, you acknowledge, you honor the truth, and you say, hey, this is what happened, and maybe this wasn't what I was trying to make it, or whatever it is. And that's okay, because you spoke the truth and you just did the dang thing, right? And so I feel like that's what this Sun card is saying. You don't have to be like pompous about it. You don't have to over explain or minimize yourself. Another crow flying right close to the window. You don't have to minimize yourself. You don't have to be false confidence, bravado, whatever. Just be yourself authentically. I feel like that's really the biggest part of this message. All right. So let's look at Volcano. That's going to be back here. And see what we get from that. Because this is part of the moon mansions. I do need to familiarize myself with this deck more. But that's part of why I'm using it. All right. Where is Volcano? It's the very, Rebecca, it's the one. So it's the very first one. All right. So we're not going to read through necessarily the card description. We're going to go to the card meaning because we're already at 41:41 on the clock. Okay. The card meaning, and I can hold it up for you. And I got the hiccups. The new moon moves through the house of Aries and touches the rulers of the first two decantes. Again, I may have said that wrong. Mars and the sun. See, this is why I didn't use this deck very much. I remember now because I was worried. This was back when I was too worried about how I presented. Like if you look at some of my videos from when I started last January, part of the reason, this one's longer because I've got a lot coming in and going on. Part of the reason they were longer is because I was over explaining everything. Not because I didn't believe that people would get the message, but I realized it was partly because I was transitioning out of an old role where the things that I do now were more of the hush-hush things. It's changing. There are a lot more people in the role that I was in before who have found ways to be more open about the more woo or spiritual, whatever you want to call it. But I was trying to prove to people that I see, hear, feel, blah, 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 whatever, the things that I do. And I feel like the reason I'm supposed to share this with you, it's not that I'm saying, oh, look at me, I healed, I'm better than you. No, I mean, look at the mistakes I've made while reading this. It's just me showing you that when I say I'm not here to tell you how to do things, part of my role is to be a living example of what I'm saying. It's not that I'm giving you guidance from the point of somebody who's telling you and teaching you what to do. It's from a human aspect of it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay. 4333 when I had looked up that it's okay to be you. It just is. And even with the numbers, usually I hit those right on and my tongue is like blah, blah, blah. It's fine. Just be you. All right. So where were we? Okay. So it touches the rulers of the first two I don't know. Mars and the sun. The two planets and the first sign are highly creative and initiating. This card expresses inspiration, spontaneity, and recklessness, and it indicates a need to act immediately, to release power that can be contained no longer. It is a card of extreme action and impatience. The moon mansion is hot, fiery, and full of creative. I don't know that word either. It represents a period of inactivity during which there is an accumulation of energy that later will erupt like a volcano. The key phrase is converse and build up resources. Or no, conserve. Converse. See, like... So I feel like that converse is coming from 44:44 on the clock, like that dual... another crow right by the window. Goodness gracious. They fly like out in the, over the yard, but not right by my window so much. The energy, just like in the longer read yesterday that was going to be a short read, the energy is ramping up. It is. Momentum is building. And I even saw, or I listened to another reader that I like. I can't even remember who it was right now, but they were talking about needing to take this fiery action. And I'm like, I don't want to take a fiery action. And I feel like what that is recognizing that, like we said in these first cards that we had, the sun and the crow, especially in the sun, you don't have to like take that fiery action with vibrato. It's that sacral chakra. It's coming from the red, the root chakra grounded perspective and taking a fiery action. Like we had in one of the short reads, maybe the 8 of Wands, and I don't know that I posted that yet, but the 8 of Wands came through, or was that? No, or the Chariot. It was the Chariot. See, my brain is like a radio station. So we had the building momentum, or the energy is rising with the first card in that longer read. Why I remember this, I don't know. Probably because it was funny. And then we had the Chariot that came in after that, and I was talking about the fire horse. So already collectively the energy is rising, but this is where you don't have to like, I'm seeing like, you don't have to come in with a bulldozer and plow through everything. That's not the action. The action is not retaliation. The action is you stepping up. The action is you connecting, giving time for yourself to connect, to see your truths, and to be able to reconcile the truth within and the light 4646 on the clock within you, to recognize who you are, to accept it, to embrace it, not as a power move, but because you are needed. That's what I hear. You are needed. Your light is needed. You are needed. Your visibility is needed. I feel like I'm about to cry right now, and I don't know why, but I feel like this is the energy that you need to release. Because you don't believe it yet, that there is a beauty, that you are worthy of love, and there's a light, and you are connected. You don't need anyone else to be the go-between for you to be connected. You're already connected. The disconnect is you and yourself. That is the disconnect. That's why I'm feeling like I want to cry right now, because that's why this action is coming in so much. And I kept seeing the tree, and I was like, why is the tree... Let me reset a little bit here, because that was a lot of emotion coming in. I was like, why is this tree? One, it looks so different from the rest of the card. And two, it was just really calling to me, and it's coming up out of like what looks almost like lava. And that's you growing, you've already grown. It's just accepting. It's just existing. There we go. That's the word. It's just existing. In order to exist, you have to believe. And that's what the fast action is being called in for. So we're going to move on to the mystical shaman pocket oracle again. There, let me pause, because it is time for you to believe. When you believe and you trust yourself, and you feel fully connected to yourself, you recognize your beauty, not in a way where you're braggadocious, is what I'm hearing. I don't even remember where that comes from. But also not in a way that you're minimizing yourself. Then you will come into full alignment. And when that happens, you won't worry that you're attracting the wrong people, relationships, situations, and things. You will know that sometimes it happens, and that it's okay, and that you will get yourself where you need to go because you are connected. You use your intuition, you trust your intuition, and you use your discernment, and you understand that not every difficult situation requires a total collapse or a full force bulldozing action. But the call to fast action, 49:49 on the clock, is for you to be able to recognize that it's already there. I keep seeing a house. It's you returning home, returning to yourself, remembering who you are. And I try to keep my words and everything all polite and stuff on these platforms, but it's you remembering who the F you are. Because until you do, you're not going to feel 100% comfortable within yourself, because you're missing out on your soul purpose in life. This is one of the things that I was working on, and I had to print an extra eye because I lost an eye while weeding it. But what I had typed on what I'm working on, a personal project, is connection. I didn't even think about it when I was doing the channeling or this whole read. I just saw it out of the corner of my eye because it's on holographic vinyl. This is what I had typed. Connection is a personal experience. You are the key if you choose it. Where is it? I was just making a sign for this board that I'm going to hang behind me, and I didn't even know what that was, the message I was putting up there. I didn't really have an idea of what I was going to put up there, just some kind of a message of encouragement. And this is the message that is on there. Missing the I in connection. Connection is a personal experience. You are the key if you choose it. You are the key if you choose it. All right, we're going to move forward. Spirit, thank you for the awkwardness. Thank you for the confirmations. Thank you for this reading, even though there were times that I wasn't sure where I was going with it. I was just noticing this right here, kind of peeking out of the tree. It looked like a mask. So just let your mask go down, and people may think you're weird or that you are awkward or whatever it is, and it doesn't matter, because it's all about how you feel about yourself. Spirit, any final messages from the Mystical Shaman Pocket Oracle? That's a lot, so we're not going to go with all of those right now. They're saying to pull the hunter off, though, and stand still. All right. Any other cards? And I was going to pull the Rainmaker off because it was also on the bottom of the deck, but I was like, that would be 3 cards off the bottom of the deck. So again, trust yourself, because last card is the Seer. So we're going to go ahead and read a little bit out of these. I know we're right at 53 minutes right when I looked up, but it feels important that you get the message from here, because they're just saying it's important. Don't over explain it, Rebecca. So the Hunter, this is 27. All right. They're telling me to just hit the highlights. I will try to do that. That may take longer. Spirit knows me by now. So do you need the story? Not necessarily. So it talks about how the hunter represents how before the dawn of agriculture, that there were hunters who went out to help feed their kin, and they never took more than what the village needed to survive. So that seems to be part of the important part of it. So the hunter, he is a master tracker who knows which path to follow to find success. And that's part of what we were talking about earlier, is you trusting your intuition and using your discernment, not feeling that you have to rely on external people, factors, situations, whatever, to give you that information. It's trusting and connecting with yourself. So the invitation is to rely on your own skills to traverse the thick forest you are in to reach your destination. You need to follow the tracks left by spirit to claim your bounty, which is already prepared and being offered to you. Do not follow the maps drawn by others, as they will not lead you true. Instead, become the map maker. how I have to stop, because how on point is all of this? Even the phrase that I had printed out, that I have the eye on this little piece here that I'll weed in a little bit because I had to reprint one. You can make mistakes, and then you can just do it, either do it again or don't recreate the wheel, just fix it. Like, it's not that big of a deal is what I'm hearing. It's not that big of a deal. Instead, become the map maker. Find your internal compass and use all of your senses. I talked about that earlier. However, 55:22 on the clock, however you feel, see, hear, whatever, use all your senses, including your common sense. Now, I've said before, common sense is not always common to 55:33 on the clock, to everyone. Common sense depends on where you come from, who you're around, regions, all of that. But for you, it's saying your common sense is that you're not basing it on all those external things. You're basing it on what your internal compass, what your internal sense of what is right, 55:55 on the clock, is for you. So the medicine, don't settle for the roadkill. It could be poison, which is what I was trying to talk about with the crows earlier, where if one of them ends up dying, like, they investigate it so that the rest of the murder of crows does not also meet the same demise, because if there was tainted roadkill, meat, whatever, disease, then they're not going to allow the whole flock, the whole murder, the whole crew to eat that. Let's see. Be careful that you do not become the prey of your desires and fantasies. So we talked about that with the Sun card. You're not going up to this grandiose kind of place where you feel that you are the best. It's not about being the best. Remember to not want more than you need, so you are not guided by unbridled ambition. It is okay to become home. It is okay to come home empty-handed. So that's what I was talking about, where it's not always going to be what you expect it to be, but that doesn't mean that it's wrong. And I saw someone talking in a video today about the group 7 stuff. And back when group 7 started coming out and I was kind of categorized into it, I'm not putting myself in a position where I say I'm better. I just tried to warn people, be careful of things where, whether it's, you know, you're the chosen one, you're the 144, or you're the group 7, or things like that. We all want to feel validated and special. And it's not that the people in those groups aren't people that you would likely connect with, because maybe you do share similar traits or beliefs and things that you want. But we have to be careful, because when we start saying, oh, I'm this, I'm that, you're labeling yourself in a way that you are possibly even limiting your possibilities. And also, for some people, they're like, oh, this is me. And it can make you feel special. And it's not that you're not special. Already, Spirit is saying you're special. But it's you understanding that you don't have to define yourself with the labels that others create, or with the labels that you see. You may resonate with it and takes, you know, like even the readings, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You don't have another crow. As I say that, why are they flying so close to my window? That is crazy. Like, they're maybe inches, not even a foot away from the window. This is hilarious. It's hilarious. But my crow friends, they are always on point. They are always on point. Oh my gosh. It just made me lose my train of thought. There goes another one. He was a little further away, but they are so close. It's not even a windy day today like it was yesterday. All right, refocus, Rebecca. Taking only that which helps you, that you need, not necessarily feeling like you have to see yourself as something more, not judging others necessarily who do, because you're focused on you and what you're building, not what other people are building. All right, so then we have stand still. So this is 27, which breaks down to a 9, and then we have 52, which breaks down to a 7, stand still. So when I was seeing that doorway, this is very similar to what I was seeing, like that bright light, that yellow coming out. And then I talked about in the beginning that orange, that sacral chakra. So you can still be grounded and have passion. It doesn't always have to be like a passion as in you're just full all I'm hearing all guns blazing, but like just full on. It doesn't have to be the full on. All right, 52, stand still. And yes, I will be reading all of these because it's important. It's important. All right, pay attention, Rebecca, so you're not flipping past all of these. Okay. When standstill appears, it's a symbol of pausing, the act of observation and breathing space. It represents the benefits of temporary non-action as well as what happens when one is stuck. So this is where that Volcano card came in even earlier, where you're being called to take action, because if you've been in this Hermit card for too long and the star is telling you come out, then there's action that needs to be taken. You've already gone silent, so now it's being able to use that silence not as an escape but as reflection. Like they're showing me somebody who is kind of hiding away at first, trying to protect yourself from the world, but now it's like going inward, doing that connection that we talked about so that you can reemerge, but you're reemerging with a different understanding of yourself. So the invitation: when things seem to stall or are stagnant, or when you feel stuck, the symbol appears as a reminder that constant action isn't going to get you where you want to go. Perhaps it's a time to gather more information, or just wait until the universe makes the next move. No matter what, this moment is a beautiful gift, orchestrated in your favor. Interesting that it said orchestrated, because that open door I told you I heard music. Like you just going with the flow, like you hear the music and you dance, whether anyone cares. And it's not that you have to literally do that. I've started doing that as I get older, because I'm like, who cares? If people look at you like you're weird or they're, you know, that's them. That's them. You be you. Enjoy it. Let the universe bring all the parts together for the highest good. Go and play, recharge, and take the focus off whatever, they're so close, has stalled. Life will get busy again for you sooner than you think. I don't know if I can show you this, but they're all sitting in the tree. Let me see. I'm going to pause it and dang it. I ended up knocking my camera stand over and they all flew away. Now they're coming back a little bit. Let's see. See if you can see. There's some of them, but that's not even, there were a ton of them. It's not even wanting to, there we go. It focused a little bit there. There's only 4 of them now. Okay, I've got to put the camera stand back up, so it's just going to be a second for you, but they're still sitting there, but I'm going to put the camera stand back up so I don't hold the phone and have you so close to me. But it was just hilarious because I kept seeing all these crows flying right past my window, and then they flew, and there was a whole bunch of them in the tree. So I don't know, maybe give the crows some peanuts. I did that yesterday. Whatever it is, this crow connection, and you're watching me, empathic crow, is like really big for you. So one moment, let's get this set back up so we can finish this. All right, eventually I may have a better setup, but for now, this is what it is. There's only one crow up there now, but that was hilarious. I feel like from the beginning, like I came into this feeling really calm and everything. I was like, let's do a read. Just I want to say spontaneous, but no, I was getting the pressure in my ears. It was very much so directed. And as I was putting the camera up, what I was hearing is, you said you wanted to lead by example. Like that you allow yourself to just be authentic, which it is. That's one of the things that I've focused on for quite a while is, like I said, not being in that energy of feeling like I have to over-explain. So you said you want to lead by example. So I try to just, like today I have no makeup on, just moisturizer. This is my skin. This is my rosacea. It is what it is. My hair is washed and clean, but it's growing back out from some hormonal changes and stress and stuff that I had. And So it's sticking out a little bit. And I don't mind stuff like that, but it's just hilarious that it's been kind of one thing after another in this reading. And I think, like I said, that's by design. All right, so we were at standstill. I had just finished reading the invitation. So the medicine, this is the advice. Time to get out of the analysis paralysis. Stand still invites you to turn within, breathe, and recognize that this is the condition of the moment. It's temporary. It's not forever. Let's see. It allows you the opportunity to bear witness to whatever is going on before the movement resumes. So this is that connection to yourself and being able to pause and think about what it is that you want, need, feel, hear, see, whatever it is, right? And it may also be time to relieve you of unnecessary burdens that you took on without considering the cost. Which one it depends on which one it is, skipping words here, depends on your stopping, taking a deep breath, quieting your mind, and removing all your distractions. And so we're back where we started with being able to go inward. Then you can make the next move in a grounded, relaxed, and detached way, which was that bird perspective I was talking about. Yes, the bird's in the air, but very focused, discerning, and seeing things from a bigger perspective of what is it, like what are the moves that you want to make? How can you move through this? Not feeling like you're boxed in by all the chaos that may be around you or that you may feel. When something doesn't go the way you think it should, remember the following. What is yours cannot be taken away. So no matter all these little things or even big things, even if they feel like a volcano that come in, this tree, like I said, is still standing. Stand still. The tree is still standing. You have strength within you. You've had to use it in those situations and even currently. But you may not feel like it because you're focused so much on everything around you. And it's hard when we're in the times that we are right now, or even personal situations you may have, to not feel the chaos. But we have to remember that part of that peace, even if it was a really peaceful time, part of that peace is internal. We have to bring that peace from within. All right, so the Rainmaker 42, which is a 7, and the Standstill was a 7, and the Hunter was a 9. So we're going to see if there's something with that. If I remember or if it's important, I will remember. That's the way I need to look at it. If it's important, I'll remember. If it's not, maybe it's important to you and you do something and look up a number I say or whatever. But if it's important for the message or for me, then I'll remember. The Rainmaker here, the beautiful thing about this is that this looks like wings and she's dancing. Kind of going back to that imagery of I saw the door opening and this yellow light, the doorway opened, and then just dancing. So let's look and see what the Rainmaker is about. Also, these wings kind of look like dandelions when they're in what I call, and I know other people do too, the wish. All right, 42. So that's interesting. I opened it up to Pachamama, and I had seen several weeks ago a reel from another reader, and they were referencing Pachamama. So maybe that's important. 40 is the number. It represents the unconditional love that the earth has for all children, including the stones, the plants, the animals, and the humans. She is the goddess of the earth, also known as Gaia, who pervades all creation on our planet. Thanks to Pachamama, our timeless soul can experience life in a biological body. The joy and pain we taste during our brief time on earth are invitations to discover the boundless love of Pachamama. So love, pain, difficult, easy, peaceful, chaos, it all exists. And it's not that it's good or bad. It just is what it is. And we choose what we focus on and how to move through it. And then I open it right to the Rainmaker. All right, so with this Rainmaker energy, the Rainmaker is the master of manifestation who can call on all the elements of nature to serve the greater good. When the power to co-create is used with integrity, great beauty, and benefit to all, when this power is used for so it's focused on the greater good. When the power to co-create is used with integrity, great beauty, and benefits flow to all. When this power is used for personal gain only, everyone suffers. When the earth is parched, the Rainmaker calls the waters from the heavens, and all that is dormant in the fields and in people's hearts spring to life again. So I feel like that goes back to what we had talked about even at the beginning with that sun card that's underneath the connection as a personal experience. You are the key if you choose it. So you choose how you see things, you choose how you respond to things, and it's all part of the cycle of things. I know that sounded kind of vague, but basically with this Rainmaker card, you can do things for a reason to try to bring good to yourself and others. 11101 was on the clock when I looked up. Or you can choose to try to use it 1111, all ones except for the 0, for your personal gain. And it's not that it's not okay for you to have things that you want or create things that you want or be in situations that are beneficial and supportive. But your choice in how you move and how you get those definitely makes a difference. If you're doing things from a way that you're like, I'm thinking of, I'm seeing Alan from 2.5 Men. My husband loves that show, and he did the Ponzi scheme, and was taking money from his family members. And so he had all this money and there really was nothing there, right? Or in one of the short reads that I may not have posted yet, because I can't always remember. I just choose the energy for the day. Stan was the emperor. It was the Golden Girls tarot deck, and Stan was the emperor. And so like the schemes that he would do, and they wouldn't always work out. And I feel like for him, it wasn't necessarily that he was trying to take people's money. It just was that he was focused on things that he thought would be a quick buck. 1:12:22 on the clock. And it wasn't. It was things that actually he lost money instead of gaining it. So I feel like those two examples are coming up because it's if you're in focus and in alignment and you're creating things with that view of not only helping others, but helping yourself through helping others. That like it's balanced. You're not just doing something for your own personal gain, but you're also not focused on all the things outside of yourself. I feel like that's kind of what it's saying, is it's finding that balance, and that what you're doing is for the good of more than just yourself. Then you're bringing in that abundance already. Remember, abundance doesn't always have to be money. It can be the things that you have, the love, the joy, the relationships, the access to the things that you need, and that we have to differentiate sometimes between needs and wants. And that can be hard. Oh, and gratitude is a really big thing. Where was I? The Rainmaker is calling you to create something new from the elements that are already in your life. Be sure you work with what is and not with what might be or could have been. We're not looking at the past. We're not focused on, like, if you have a really good idea, but you don't have the ability to get the thing, or it would cost you to try to get it, it's okay to turn that back around and look at the things that you have. Like with the connection and the missing eye. Instead of reprinting the whole phrase, I used a scrap piece. I don't even know where it is right now, and it doesn't matter. But I used a scrap piece, and I already was printing a phrase on it, and I just put another I, made sure it was the same font. So using the things that you already have and not seeing everything that doesn't turn out the way that you thought that it would, or that didn't work in the past, as something you have to, I'm hearing, improve or fix. It is what it is what I'm hearing. It is what it is. The seeds that have been silently germinating in your heart, I'm seeing that shoots card. Okay, so this growth right here. The seeds that have been silently germinating in your heart will burst forth, ready for the sunlight. Do not hold back. Put all your chips on the next roll of the divine dice. So if you feel in alignment with this, but you have to go inside, connect, and know your worth, your beauty, your love, that you are worthy of love, that you love what you're doing, that you're putting passion into it. That's where that orange sacral chakra comes from. Then you are creating things that can bring you joy and abundance. And abundance doesn't have to just be money. It is just the life that you want to live. You're creating things that you want by being authentic. One of the highest vibration emotions. So the medicine is recognizing how you are co-creating the world. Nothing is happening out there without your involvement. And that's where I was saying we all have a choice. I've not always made the right choices. You've not always made the right choices. We don't have to berate ourselves for it. It's just moving forward, correcting it if you can, forgiving yourself, loving, all those things, right? Remember that the world is only mirroring back to you the condition of your own love, of your intent. So change these before you take any action. Do not take life personally. So again, it's about what you see, how you connect, what you feel, and what you put out. It's not about the world around you, what others see, and the judgment. I know I said that earlier. And the last card, 45, which is a 9, and we started with Hunter, 27, which breaks down to a 9. And look at how these cards are so similar. Even the Rainmaker is very similar. I feel like the Rainmaker, you have the Hunter, and there was a balance that it talked about. And then the Rainmaker is all about creating that balance. And with the Seer, I'm pretty sure we're going to have some growth and balance in that too. And the Seer card, look, there's a bird. Right there up in the corner. All right. Oh, we also have a lion's face right here. And I have one of my creative expressions up here with a lion's face and flowers. And it has a Bob Marley quote about, it's hard to see because I did it in colored letters. But it's about being strong, and I can't remember right now. I'll take a picture maybe and overlay it because I feel like it is part of the reading. So the Seer, 45. And we're definitely coming up to the end. One, because this is now an hour and 17 minutes. I know I've seen other readers also who have much bigger followings and stuff apologize for the longer readings. But I don't mind the longer readings. And I've said even in some of my videos before, often I'm not necessarily watching. I have it on in the background as I'm doing stuff, or if I'm driving, I might have it in the background. I'm not watching it, listening to what's being said, because to me, the words, I may show you the pictures and stuff just in case you need a reference, but the words are more important. If you want to watch it, you can, which is why I put timestamps in them where I can. But anyway, I don't know why that's important, but I feel like part of this is Spirit saying to me before, the longer reads were because of that feeling of needing to prove. And now the longer reads are because if the message is coming through, we need to complete it. I'm seeing a circle. Like I just saw like a circle. We need to complete the circle. But understanding that the reading isn't the completion. The reading is how it resonates with you, if it resonates, and what you do from there with that information. Knowing that the guidance is just general guidance and it's just to elicit thought. It's not to tell you how to live your life and what to do. So the Seer, and we'll hold the Seer up, this beautiful card. The Seer represents the capacity to reach beyond the obvious details of life into the hidden realms where information is available to those with the discernment to perceive it. I already said the discernment. So having discernment helps you perceive it, right? This symbol represents psychic perception, intuition, and the capacity to know something without prior exposure. So understand, I've said this before and I will continue to say it. We all have intuition. We all have intuition. It's part of our instincts. It's part of our survival skills. But your connection determines how much you're trusting it and also what you're getting from it. And it may look different for different people, but it's there. All right. The symbol represents, I've already said that. The seer knows truth, always seeks truth beyond all else. Coming back to the crow card that we got as the second card from this deck, right? And sees reality as it truly is without judgment. This is wrapping up the whole reading so perfectly. The seer can read between the lines and understand what is not being said. He represents the power of clarity and being able to recognize patterns. So understand that recognizing those patterns just means that it helps give you information on how you choose to respond. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're predicting or projecting what you're seeing onto others. So the invitation, the seer invites you to trust your intuition and follow it as it leads you forward. You may feel lost when it appears that your hunch is taking you in circles or even through a maze, but the hidden realms don't follow the rules of a two-dimensional map. This whole reading has been like that. The information was coming through. The information was confirmed and validated throughout the reading. But it felt like there were a lot of little turns, twists, and things like that. And it's all connected. I think I've said before, I don't necessarily believe that coincidences are the rare thing. I feel like coincidences are the norm and things actually, I feel like coincidences are the rare part. See, it's been kind of like backwards. It's like opposite day or something. I believe that coincidences are more rare, that if it's meant to happen, that's usually going to be the more typical thing. But that's just me and my beliefs. I'm not telling you what to believe. All right, so where were we? Trust your gut and allow your perception of circumstances to widen to include nuances and subtle cues that normally you would miss if you take things at face value. So that's where I'm coming back to that bird eye perspective of seeing the bigger picture. The seer has gifted you with his magic. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. Your vision is clear, but you have to believe it. You have to believe it and trust yourself. And it's not always going to come out clearly. It's going to be messy. People aren't going to understand, and that is okay. So the medicine, the seer has arrived now to challenge you to get out of denial and begin telling yourself the truth about your situation. Like I said, we're coming hardcore back to that crow truth card that we had at the beginning. Wishful thinking will not make you desire. Wishful thinking will not make what you desire happen. When you're refusing to see things as they are, the truth may hurt, but it will set you free to claim the bounty that is waiting for you to notice it. So let me read that again because that's important. Let's go back a sentence. I know, but it's important. Wishful thinking will not make your desire happen when you're refusing to see things as they are. This is why we can't keep holding on to that past. Recognizing the patterns doesn't mean that we're recognizing the patterns and then we're putting our defensiveness out for any situation that may look like what happened. It's recognizing, like the hunter, that, okay, this may be something that I need to tread lightly, but if I don't move forward and I just use the reactions of the past, I may be creating more situations than what's necessary. It actually may be something that's good for you, but your body's responding to the old, your mind's responding to the old, and that may hurt. But when you focus on that truth, it will set you free to claim the bounty that is waiting for you to notice it. So you can look at the things that you feel like are going on and haven't worked out, or like the universe is against me or whatever. But you're missing the opportunities outside of that when you limit yourself to that belief. This is a moment of true power. The seer offers you his medicine. When you are ready, surrender your vision to spirit and ask to be shown the truth. no matter the price. Once you do so, your eyes will open and you will receive a powerful gift. The Crow and the Sun. Shine your light, but not in a boastful way and not hiding yourself off. Seek and speak the truth. Connection is a personal experience. You are the key if you choose it. Not seeking without. People can be tools, cards can be tools, signs, symbols, all of those things can be tools that help you along the way. But you are the key if you choose it. I think that's the message. That's it. It came around multiple times. It was displayed and examples were provided, but that's the message. That was a very long and powerful message. So here's my final bit. I appreciate you for being here, for watching any part of these videos, for connecting with me, and I hope that it helps you to connect with yourself. That it may give you some insight that you want to look further into, or trigger some passion or thought or something that says, oh yeah, that would be helpful. That is what these messages are for. That's why I put the general reads out there. I do not take it personally if it's not watched or if you only watch part of it. That's not the point. That's not the message, and it's part of this message. That what you watch, what you see, what you experience, you determine whether it's right for you. And if it did help you, and because I do want the messages to go and be seen by as many people who need them, I do appreciate the likes, the comments, and the shares, and also because that's a connection that I get to have with you. That I'm putting these out there, and that I put them out there regardless of the response. But even if it helps just one person, that means a lot to me. That's part of my personal truth. My goal is to help others. In the Rebecca Campbell activation, it was in my planner, or my journal, my intuitive journal that I use for these channeled messages. In the activation that she did for the destined life or the fated life, I came here to teach that strength and compassion can coexist. And I was holding a blue rose quartz that I felt called to. Is it over here? Might be, might not. It's not on my shelf where I usually put my blue stones. Might be in my bedroom, which is okay. It's not fully necessary that I show it to you. All right. But anyway, the blue rose quartz represents unconditional love, emotional healing, tranquil communication, and it is a bridge between the heart and the throat. It helps to articulate feelings with grace and reduce anxiety. And also, it helps to foster empathy. See, I couldn't read what I wrote. So maybe something from that is helpful to you. But it's being able to identify what your truth is. Know that sometimes your truth may change because that map is within you. And you decide what is true for you in the moment. Because sometimes the terrain changes and you have to change gears. And staying stuck is not going to help you. That was one of the messages. So thank you again. I hope that this was helpful. Please feel free to share anything that came to you if you want to. Always use your discernment because the comments are public. But either way, and if you feel called to work with me and explore your personal experience, because personal reads are always different than the general reads, because I'm focused on your energy and what's going on for you. Past and present are typically on point, accurate. It's already happened or it is happening. Future, you have free will. Sometimes that's going to change if you make different decisions. But it's not to tell you what to do. It's to look at that guidance and help you decide what works for you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.